With the Citi Double Cash Card, you get 1% cash back when you buy and 1% as you pay. That's like the joy of getting 2 W's on the road. Or catching the home run ball without spilling your drink. Double boom. Double the love with the Citi Double Cash Card. Apply now at Citi.com/doublecash.
This is the Stephen A. Smith Show podcast.
I'm Stephen A. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the latest edition of the Stephen A. Smith Show, coming at you as I love to do every weekday over the airwaves of ESPN Radio. That's 98.7 FM New York City. That's 710 ESPN LA. And, of course, nationwide over the airwaves of ESPN Radio. Sirius XM style, Channel 80. Number to call up, as always, is 866-729-ESPN. That's 866-729-3776. 866-SAY-ESPN. Jam-packed show coming your way today. Few NFL items to get into, particularly the power rankings. Obviously, we're all incredibly saddened by the death of Roy Halladay, a star pitcher, 2-time Cy Young Award winner, pitched a perfect game in 2010, pitched a no-hitter in the postseason, one of only 2 pitchers to do that, passed away, died in a plane crash yesterday. He was the only passenger on the plane, small plane. He loved flying, and obviously, unfortunately, he lost his life doing so. So our condolences, our heartfelt condolences on behalf of the Stephen A. Smith Show and ESPN Radio to the Halladay family, his wife, his 2 beautiful children. What can you say? You don't wish this on anybody. It's devastating, to put it mildly. It's just sad. Age 40. I just turned 50 years old. This guy's 40. Whole life ahead of him. Made an exorbitant amount of dollars. Star pitcher. For years considered universally recognized as the best in the game of Major League Baseball. And to be away from the game, free to live his life, and be happy with his wife and kids, and to lose his life this way is just it's tragic. And so, again, our heartfelt condolences goes out to his family. Transitioning to sports, because that's what we do on a sports show. Obviously, with heavy hearts, we still do it. There are games to talk about. There's talent to talk about. It's what we're obligated to do. It's what I'm going to do. And just seeing some of the things that transpired last night, a few things jumped out of my mind. Kristaps Porzingis for the New York Knicks is a star. He is something special. He had 28 last night in a win over Charlotte. He's performing. He's averaging about 30 a night. He's playing like a star on the world's biggest stage, as they say, Madison Square Garden. And when you look at the parts around him, the supplementary parts around him, it ain't that damn impressive. So for the Knicks to be winners of 3 to 4 straight, to be 6-4 in the season, to be performing the way that they have been performing, you just can't say enough. Kristaps Porzingis is a star. And you know what else made it special to watch him last night perform the way that he performed? You watched another star emerging before our very eyes in the Greek Freak, Giannis Antetokounmpo, for the Milwaukee Bucks. Yes, they did lose to LeBron James and the Cleveland Cavaliers last night. And it wasn't just because of LeBron's near triple-double with 30 points. It was also because of Kevin Love with his 32.16 rebounds. But guess what? That's what it took. That's what it took to stifle and stop the Greek Freak known as Antetokounmpo. Or Antetokounmpo known as the Greek Freak. He had 40 last night. If this brother gets a jump shot, I'm going to tell you right now, it's going to be a 3-way battle in the league. Listen, Anthony Davis is in there, too, because I think he's a stud and I love him, and he's a superstar. But I got to tell you something. When you talk about cats who are box office, like you'll stroll through the turnstile. See, Anthony Davis, as brilliant as he is as a basketball player for the New Orleans Pelicans, you just know what he's going to give. He's like the Tim Duncan, for crying out loud. Not the greatest personality in the world, relatively dull. He's got the unibrow going for him, but he's good for 28 and 12 a night. He's that big time. No doubt. But there's a difference between being big time just as a player and being box office. The Greek Freak is box office. And Kristaps Porzingis is box office. New York Knicks are looking better without Carmelo Anthony, whose Oklahoma City Thunder managed to lose to one of the worst, if not the worst team in basketball last night in the Sacramento Kings. That was not good. The fact that the New York Knicks are looking great without him is not a good look. The fact that this dude is box office, to an elevate. I don't know. Can somebody in New York compare Jeremy Lin and Linsanity during those several game stretches to Porzingis? I'm going to tell you what I think the difference is. I knew that Linsanity would come to an end. People ultimately will become sane because I found him to be a decent but relatively average player. Porzingis is a star. I never saw a star in Linsanity. Never. It was a moment in time. With Porzingis, that ain't what you're thinking. You're looking at this kid's jumper, you're looking at his hops, and you're looking at the fact that he's 7'3", who's blocking shots all over the place, and you're like, damn, this brother's on another level. And that's what is going on with Porzingis right now. And I bring in his name because, to me, it's a three-headed monster in terms of box office young stars. Greek Freak, Porzingis, and Ben Simmons of the Philadelphia 76ers. If this brother gets a jump shot, keep in mind, Ben Simmons may have got drafted 2 years ago, but didn't play a game last year, was injured the entire year. This is his first year in the NBA. These games that they've played, these 10, 11 games on a season that Ben Simmons has played, he's averaging nearly a triple-double, 17, 10, and 8. Right now. Right now. If Embiid could play back-to-backs, if he was on the court more and wasn't having his minutes monitored, who knows what the Sixers would be doing, who are also 6-4. Like the Knicks. Things are getting very, very interesting right now. I don't know what that music is. I apologize if y'all heard that. But Lonzo Ball, number 2 overall. You need more. I watched the Aaron Fox against Oklahoma City last night. Looked pretty damn good. I watched Dennis Smith Jr. for Dallas make the highlight reels in their upset victory in the nation's capital over the Wizards. Looked pretty damn good. Malik Monk looked pretty damn good. Marketing for the Chicago Bulls looks pretty damn good. Jason Tatum for the Boston Celtics at number 3 looks pretty damn good. There's a few people, Donovan Mitchell, Utah, looking pretty damn good. Kyle Kuzma, drafted 27th by the Lakers, looking pretty damn good. I just named you 6, 7 dudes off the top, drafted after Lonzo Ball, that are looking better. This is a problem because it doesn't just compromise the Lakers. It compromises the greatness of Irvin Magic Johnson, who was not just a star in the Hall of Fame and the greatest point guard in NBA history, but as president of the Lakers, his basketball acumen is not to be questioned. And guess what? If Lonzo continues to be subpar, you know what's going to happen? There's going to be questions about Magic Johnson. And I don't like it. 866-729-ESPN. That's 866-SAY-ESPN. Got to talk about all of that, plus get into one of the biggest stories going on. 3 UCLA basketball players arrested in connection with alleged shoplifting in China. They were released on bail, according to reports from ESPN, but nevertheless, they were arrested. One of their names, LiAngelo Ball, the little brother of Lonzo Ball, the son of LaVar Ball. We'll talk about that and then some in a minute. You're listening live to the Stephen A. Smith Show, ESPN Radio.
Want to be a part of the show? Hit Stephen A. up weekdays from 1 to 3 Eastern at 866-729-3776.
I just saved hundreds of dollars by switching to Geico. I'm so happy, I feel like I can fly.
Disclaimer, you will not be able to fly by switching to Geico. This is against the laws of physics and nature. If you find yourself flying, please seek professional and or medical help immediately. In the unlikely event you find yourself flying, you might be a superhero, or a pigeon, or a superhero named Pidgewoman, who was bitten by a radioactive pigeon. If you are indeed Pidgewoman, Geico retains all licensing publishing rights in the event Pidgewoman the movie becomes a top-grossing Hollywood blockbuster.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
You're listening to the Stephen A. Smith Show podcast.
Can't wait to talk to my man Frank Isola, writer for the New York Daily News, covers the NBA, does a great job on SiriusXM Radio, Not to mention a great job for the paper and has been covering the Knicks for about 16 years. Can't wait to talk to him about what I've been seeing. I want to see what he's been seeing. I want to know what everyone's thinking about Melo, too. This is a big year for Carmelo Anthony. It really is. Because when you part ways and the team is looking better without you after how awful the New York Knicks have looked over the last 3 years, since Mike Woodson, assistant coach for the Los Angeles Clippers, left. If y'all recall when Phil Jackson replaced him to bring in Derek Fisher, who never coached in his life. All right? Mike Woodson had won 37 games that year, true. But the year before that, he had won 54 games. And it got the Knicks to the Atlantic Division crown for the first time in 13 years. Or was that a playoff victory? Series victory. This is what he did. That's what Mike Woodson did. Then the next year he was injured, and Tyson Chandler's mother was ill, and he played at the games, but he never practiced because he was busy taking the jets back and forth to see his mom. Phil Jackson decided to get rid of Mike Woodson. That was the last time Melo was really relevant in terms of the Knicks' success. I think Melo is one of the prolific offensive players of this generation. But clearly, he was taking a lot of hits. And right now, with the way Porzingis and the Knicks are playing without him, and the way Oklahoma City is playing with him, this does not look good. It just doesn't. No way around it. 866-SAY-ESPN. It's 866-729-3776. Back to the story about LiAngelo Ball and two other players getting arrested. Cody Riley and Jalen Hill, to be specific. They were questioned by police while their Bruins teammates traveled to Shanghai for the team's season opener Friday night against Georgia Tech. This is according to the reports. Here's the reality. It says here LaVar Ball, the father of LiAngelo Ball, his wife Tina, and their youngest son LaMelo had breakfast in Shanghai with the team on Wednesday. According to ESPN, which also reported that LaVar canceled a planned meeting with the media over legal concerns before commenting on LiAngelo's situation. He'll be fine, LaVar Ball told the reporter. Everybody making it a big deal. It ain't that big of a deal. That's a mistake. That's a mistake. This is China. This is not a place rife with American ideals. This is a communist nation. It says here, according to reports, LiAngelo could do 3 to 10 years. Now, obviously, we don't think that's going to happen. But you know how that transpires? Maybe like my man Will Kane said on First Take today. The president of UCLA reaches one of the politicians who has connections to Washington. And Washington obviously has connections to the China embassy and things of that nature. And maybe that's how you get things done. Look at all those channels you got to go through to make sure. Guys, don't have to do time. Now, I can't imagine something as small as this could lead to that, but it's China. It's not America. You don't know what the hell is going to happen. And for LaVar Ball to say no big deal, yes, sir, it is. Because China can end up making it a very big deal. And those are the kind of things. See, it's a moment like this where it's bad for LaVar Ball. He is not to be blamed for this. Plenty of great parents have children who do stupid things from time to time. Why? Because they're kids. That's what kids do. Stupid things from time to time. We get that. We understand that. So that's point number one. But point number two, and this is the part that hurts because, see, I like LaVar Ball. I don't agree with a lot of things he does. I do consider him incredibly obnoxious. Yes, coming from me, that might sound crazy, but it's true. All of those things are considered. But I never felt like anything that he did warranted the attacks he received as a parent. I never felt that way. Wasn't perfect, wasn't ideal, wasn't what some other parents would do. We get that. So I thought the criticism of him was excessive. Here's the problem. It's easy for someone to reach now and say, well, LaVar, maybe if you wasn't paying so much attention to the big baller brand or to your son Lonzo, maybe, just maybe, you would have made sure something like this didn't happen. Again, I want to be on the record. That's incredibly unfair to LaVar Ball. I don't feel that way. But I know cynics and critics and people who want an excuse to malign him will do exactly that. They'll compare apples and oranges. They'll put a level of onus on his shoulders that isn't applicable to most parents. They'll do all of those different things just to get at him. And he can take it. That's true. But LiAngelo might not be able to. We don't know. And if you're LiAngelo and you're guilty of this, what the hell were you thinking? We'd have a sit-down conversation. And I might tell y'all this, too. I mean, he might be a little bit too big for it, but I might put my hands on him if I was his daddy. I ain't Oprah. Oprah, I would never hit kids. Please. That's Oprah. That ain't me. I ain't going to go Adrian Peterson on nobody. But would I spank my child? You're damn right I would. On the case, if you're a boy and you're 18 years old or a young man and you're 18 years old, and you're a freshman at UCLA, would I smack you upside your damn head? Yes, I would. Yes, absolutely. It ain't just about you. It's about this family's name. It's about UCLA. It's about common decency and respect. Thou shalt not steal. If he's guilty. If I was his daddy and he was guilty of that, he wouldn't want to see me. He might beg the authorities to keep him in prison before I got my hands on him. I'll be the first to tell you that.
Guess what? You're in the middle of the Stephen A. Smith Show podcast.
Damn it, I mean it! Listen, my man Keyshawn Johnson just reminded me of something. When his son got in trouble at the University of Nebraska, Keyshawn pulled him out of school. Gave him a leave of absence. You ain't going to embarrass the family or the family name for stupidness. You ain't doing that. Son was smoking some pot, yanked him out of school. Maybe that's what LaVar Ball should do. Keyshawn suggested that. I don't think that's a bad idea. I really, really don't. 866-729-ESPN. It's 866-SAY-ESPN. Remember, Frank Isola, writer for the New York Daily News, NBA reporter and insider extraordinaire. He'll be on the show with us at the top of hour number 2. Looking forward to talking to him about all things NBA and the Knicks in particular as well with the way Porzingis is playing. Plus, obviously, you got folks that want to talk about Lonzo, want to talk about Melo, want to talk about the LaVar Ball family. Jeter and Cali, you're live with Stephen A. Talk to me.
Hey, Stephen. Thanks for taking my call.
Okay.
You know what? I really feel sorry for the kids. Okay. This family is moving way too fast. Okay. And as you would say, I don't know if Lonzo can cash the check or not. He looks like he has deer in the headlights.
I said, I don't know if he can cash the checks his daddy deposited. Yeah.
Right. But what I'm saying is I feel sorry for the kids. It's unfortunate, and I just think that the dad is moving. It's all about his own self-interest. I listened to you 10 minutes before, supporting him as being a good father and stuff. But it seems like things are moving down the track way too fast.
Well, you know what? I'm not going to be I'm not going to dismiss what you're saying, sir. There's nothing wrong with you deciphering and interpreting that they're moving down a track a bit too fast. That's entirely different than this man raising his children all of these years, and because he opens his mouth and he's a bit obnoxious about their basketball skills, people decide to use that as an excuse to attack him as a man and as a father. That's not what you're doing. What you're talking about is he may very well be that good man and that good father, but based on the way that they've been acting as of late, they may be moving down a track a bit too fast. And I think that's a reasonable assertion.
So, Stephen, let me ask you a question. I'm older. I grew up in the Bird and Magic era. Okay? This guy he's only played 10 games in the NBA. And
okay.
You got him, you put him on a pedestal like he's Michael Jordan.
Well, his daddy has. And that's his dad. Okay? And so his dad has that much belief in his son, talking about how he needs more minutes in the fourth quarter. You got to show me you playing well through the first 1 to 3 if I'm going to put you in closing time. I mean, and again, I'm not even judging Lonzo Ball's skill set yet or lack thereof. My issue with him is his aggression. It's like the more his father has talked, the more passive he's become. And it makes no sense to me whatsoever. He needs to be aggressive. That's all I'm asking for from Lonzo Ball right now. Aggression, assertiveness. That's what I want to see from him. That's what I'm not getting. That's my issue with Lonzo Ball. That's it. But LiAngelo, this is a different problem. You're old enough to know better. Shoplifting, I sincerely hope that this is a lie, that this has been fabricated, that the Chinese government or law enforcement officials there haven't fabricated something. But if this is true, how stupid can you be? Just egregious. Appreciate the call, Jeter. Thank you so much. Let's go to Terrell in Connecticut. You're live with Stephen A. What's up, man?
How you doing, Stephen A? Thanks for taking my call, man.
I'm all right. Go ahead, buddy.
I got 3 quick issues I just want to tackle real quick. Number one is you were dead on about China being a democracy, and them young boys needed to understand that. This is not America.
It's a communist country, yes.
Absolutely. Yes. Remember a couple of years ago during the Clinton regime when that Ivy League kid had did the graffiti over there, and they caned him. They gave him 2 lashes when they were trying to give him more than that, and he came from rich parents and all of that. They didn't care anything about that, so I hope all goes well for him on that end, you know.
Okay.
Secondly, I want to talk about Chris Porzingis. I saw something special out of that kid last night, man, and I really hope the Knicks don't fumble this up with this kid. When after he hit the 3-pointer from the assist from Frank in the fourth quarter, you see when he hit Marvin Lewis with the crossover, drove to the basket left-handed as a 7'3" power forward center, and then made the layup. That was special, man.
The kid's got skills, man. The kid's got skills. Give Phil Jackson credit for that much. I mean, the kid does have skills. I can't deny it.
That's about all I give Phil credit. He's having to deal with the Knicks anyway.
Who the hell would give Phil credit for anything else? Who would do that? Nobody would do that. That's not going to happen. But you got to remember, he belongs to the Knicks. He's locked in for this year. There's a team option on him for the following season. And then in the third year as a qualifying offer. He's with the Knicks for at least the next 2 seasons.
Yeah, but like I said, I just want him to treat him right, though, Stephen A., because, like I said, I've been a Knicks fan since '94.
Well, listen.
Pat Ewing era with all those guys.
The issue with James Dolan is not that he doesn't treat star players right. The issue with him is that he doesn't get them help around them. He leaves them hanging all by their lonesome instead of building a team, a franchise. Hopefully you allow Steve Mills and Scott Perry to do that.
I would hope so. I would really hope so. And my last point is this. I was trying to get through yesterday and I couldn't. I understand what you were saying about McAdoo and he needs to go and all of that, but there's one head coach whose head should be on the chopping block ahead of his, and that's that Marvin Lewis man in Cincinnati.
Well, why don't you just call up and tell me? Why don't you just call up and tell me the sky's blue? Who the hell don't know that Marvin Lewis needs to go? I mean, 15 years and still hasn't won a playoff victory? Please. He should have been going years ago.
That guy must have negative pictures of the owner or something, because the number of losing seasons that this head coach has had in NFL tenure is higher than draft.
I got it. I got to run. I appreciate the call, Terrell. Thanks a lot. But he did go to the playoffs 5 straight years before they missed the playoffs last year. So you're not completely accurate on that note. But I hear where you're coming from. I got it. Let's go to Joel in Jersey. You're live with Stephen A. What's up?
Steve, much love since your college days, man. Something I want your callers to know about you, that on the 7th day, you are where you're supposed to be every single week. And I know that personally about you. So when you go to the greatest book of all time and quote it and say, thou shalt not steal, there's one more in there I think you'll like that'll fit the situation a little bit better. If you're not humble, humility is closer than you think. And I think China was a little bit closer. He's got to get humble, Stephen. Appreciate the blessing.
Who's he? Who's he, Joel?
LaVar.
All right, yeah. Because LiAngelo's the one that stole. He's the one supposedly that shoplifted. That's why I was asking him.
Your kids would know that that's one of the rules on that 7th day of the week.
Stop. Don't bring the Lord into it like that. Don't do that. Because the fact of the matter is there's plenty of parents who are God-fearing, good, decent people that work very hard and diligently to raise their children right, and their children still act up. It's not always about the parents. Let's be careful about putting this on LaVar more than we're putting this on LiAngelo.
I've been taught not to steal from the get, Stephen.
I got you. I appreciate the call, though. Thanks a lot, man. Let's go to Ronnie in Brooklyn. You're live with Stephen A. Go ahead, Ronnie.
Steve, I got 2 quick points I want to make. I also agree with that caller about, if you're not humble, you will be humiliated.
Yeah.
I don't understand the pressure and why that the father is putting that unnecessary pressure on that young man.
I agree with that.
It's not easy to be selected of the few hundred of the best players in the world. I don't understand that. I'm a father myself. Another thing, as I seen the Knicks yesterday, I was thinking that, Phil Jackson was wrong on a lot of levels, the way he handled Carmelo. But one thing he was right about was that ball sticking. And as I seen the fluidity of the game, and whoever had that open shot took it, whether it's the rookie, Frank, Porzingis is looking like a professional. But I understand that Phil may have understood that, the difference between Carmelo Anthony and LeBron is the IQ. I mean, you say it all the time.
Well, here's why we can't let Phil off the hook, though, because it wasn't that Phil didn't understand stuff. It's that Phil was immature and negligent as a leader. Phil left so much stuff to Carmelo Anthony. Carmelo Anthony's talking in the media every day. Phil speaks in September, and then we can't find him until April. Phil taking pot shots on Twitter. Phil devaluing Carmelo Anthony at every turn. Those are the things that Phil is culpable for. And those usurp his basketball acumen. Because if you got so much basketball acumen, why not recognize that most people may not know what you know and treat them like the suckers that they are and do everything that you can to elevate Melo's value until you get rid of him? How come Phil couldn't do that, Ronnie?
Yeah, I agree. I said he was wrong on a lot of different levels. That's one of the first things I said, right? Before I even, shared on the topic. I remember the Red Holtzman's team and that championship Knick team. One thing that they did was they moved the ball. It didn't matter. They moved the ball. Whoever had the open shot took it. And that's how we win in New York. I
will tell you this.
Good luck to Carmelo.
Good luck to him.
God bless him.
Good luck to him, Ronnie. But a brother in Houston called me months ago, and I keep forgetting his name. He said, "Ain't no way in hell Oklahoma City's gonna win with Melo and Paul George there with Russell Westbrook because the ball ain't gonna move." That's what he said. Right now, he's looking correct. I don't think it will last, but I got to give respect where respect is due. My listeners know what the hell they're talking about, and he did bring that up, and it was valid. I didn't want to admit it. But I have no choice right now watching Oklahoma City play the way that they're playing. Appreciate the call, Ronnie. 866.
Give Stephen A. piece of your mind.
He is sorry.
Call him weekdays from 1 till 3 Eastern.
I mean, just trash.
At 866-729-3776.
Guess what?
You're in the middle of the Stephen A. Smith Show podcast.
Damn it, I mean it.
Welcome back to the Stephen A. Smith Show, ESPN Radio, coming at you as I love to do every weekday. Sirius XM style, Channel 80. Before I get back to the calls, reminding you that to begin hour number 2, we're going to have my man Frank Isola of the New York Daily News on to talk to us about Porzingis and the rest of what he's been witnessing take place in the NBA over the first couple of weeks or so. So definitely looking forward to talking to him about that. Before I get back to the calls, though, I want to discuss these power rankings for a second here. Philadelphia Eagles are number 1 in the NFL's power rankings. I think they deserve that. Patriots and Steelers are 2 and 3. I have no idea why the Minnesota Vikings are 4th, because Case Keenum is their quarterback. Really? Am I supposed to take that seriously? I'm not. Okay? So that's problematic. So you got that going on. And then at number 5, you got Kansas City. Well, they've went 1 and 3 over their last 4 games after starting off 5 and 0. Kareem Hunt has been a shell of himself, not running the ball nearly as effectively as he once did. I don't understand how anybody is looking at the Kansas City Chiefs and have them in the top 5 in the NFL's power rankings. I think the Dallas Cowboys, in the interest of fairness, the Dallas Cowboys are too low. Whether it's 7 or 8, they should be higher. The Rams, the Los Angeles Rams, should be higher. Both the Dallas Cowboys and the Los Angeles Rams should probably be definitely in the top 6, probably in the top 5. If you wanted to usurp one or the other for the New Orleans Saints, I'm not going to argue with you, who've won 6 straight. But there's no reason on earth to me why Kansas City and Minnesota and Seattle, or rather Minnesota, Kansas City, and Seattle are 4, 5, and 6 respectively. I don't understand that. I don't get that. I'm not feeling that at all. Makes no sense to me. It really doesn't. 866 say ESPN. Chris in L.A., you're live. Stephen A., talk to me.
Hey, Stephen A., good morning. One quick question and one statement I want to make. About the Carmelo being in OKC. I believe the Knicks do look better, but I think we need to take a step back, Stephen A., and reevaluate Coach Donovan. Do we believe he's the right fit to coach those personalities in OKC? Because right now, like I said, Stephen, they're 4 and 6, and if they want to plan on keeping Paul George after this year, minimum, in my opinion, they have to get to the conference finals. Remember, he's been there before with Indianapolis.
Well, that's what well, listen, here's my point. Billy Donovan was in the Western Conference Finals, a Game 7 a couple of years ago. So it's not like he is a 2-time national champion as a collegiate coach. Yes, the jury's still out on what he can do on a pro level, but he has been better than respectable. I don't think we can deny that.
Agreed, yeah. Well, it's yet to be seen. It's still early. And my statement I want to make is I watched you guys, you and Max, on First Take this morning talking about trust the process as far as the 76ers. I'm going to put this on Front Street now, Stephen. I know you can't put me on the record because I don't work for you guys, but I believe the Sixers will be ultimately end up being the better team the way it's presently constructed right now than the Washington Wizards. And let me tell you why, Stephen A. Because just from
first of all, I don't disagree with that. And secondly, why are you sounding like you stepping out on a ledge there? I mean, what does Washington have to look forward to?
Well, okay, that's fair. But let me ask you this: we spoke about a week or so ago, and you told me that Washington will end up being better than Boston, and I said no way.
Well, I think I'm very well, that was when Gordon Hayward went down, and I believe that. Obviously, I'm feeling a little bit differently after watching Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum and what those long, athletic dudes who love to defend are doing with Kyrie Irving. I think it's something special to behold, but it doesn't disguise my disappointment in the Washington Wizards. I mean, they did nothing this offseason but re-sign Otto Porter to exorbitant dollars that some would say he doesn't deserve. Bradley Beal shows up. John Wall's got to work on his jump shot. Love the kid. 2-way player. We'd be talking about John Wall as one of the top 3 guards in basketball if he had a jump shot. A consistent jump shot that we could rely upon. But he doesn't. And because of that, when it's not flowing for him, he really, really struggles offensively. And then when he struggles offensively, he tries to overcompensate, makes mistakes, and can't lead this team the way you would expect him to be able to lead this team. And that's the problem with the Washington Wizards. That's the problem with the Washington Wizards.
Right. I mean, I can't. I'm not refuting that.
The 76ers in their process. I just don't want to hear the process because you were willing to lose for years. Listen, man, let me tell you something right now. Why not just quit ESPN right now and go get a job as an executive for a franchise? If I got 5 years to lose, 4 years to lose on purpose, Chris, I can't do that job?
Nah, I hear you. Steve. Nah, I hear you.
To lose on purpose for years. I'm not talking about a half season. I'm not talking about the last month of a season, Chris. I'm talking about for years. I'm losing for years. I'm drafting Joel Embiid. He don't play until year 3. I'm drafting Ben Simmons. He out for the year. I'm drafting Markelle Fultz. Lord knows what he's going to do. I drafted Jahlil Okafor, and I got him on a bench. Now, everybody want to look at Jahlil Okafor and act like he can't play. The brother averaged 17 and 7 as a rookie. And he's riding the bench. Trust the process, though? Please. I ain't trying to hear it. 866-SAY-ESPN. It's 866-729-3776. 866-729-ESPN. Hour number 2 up next. More NFL talk. Colin Kaepernick and the meeting with Roger Goodell. And, of course, Frank Isola. Don't touch that dollar. Stephen A. ESPN Radio.
That's just a sample of what you'll hear on the Stephen A. Smith Show. Weekdays at 1 p.m. Eastern on Sirius XM Channel 80 and the ESPN app.
I just saved hundreds of dollars by switching to Geico. I've never felt more alive.
Disclaimer. Geico cannot guarantee you will feel more alive. You either possess functioning respiratory and circulatory systems, or you do not, or you are a zombie. If you are indeed a brain-starved zombie and you would like to save money on car insurance, the Geico legal team applauds your excellent life choices, even in your shambling afterlife. But we strongly encourage you to visit geico.com or download the Geico app. Please stay a minimum of 500 feet away from our large and presumably delicious, delicious brains.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more.